Darkseid might be one of the biggest bads in all of DC, but how would he fare against some of Marvel's greatest villains? Welcome back, Nerd Squad. Today we're going to be taking a look at DC's Darkseid and see how he measures up against some of the greatest villains of all time from Marvel. Which Marvel villains could overpower one of the most powerful characters in all of comics? Keep watching to find out as we count down the top 10 Marvel villains more powerful than Darkseid. I personally have a lot of respect for Darkseid, but I also have a few Marvel favorites that I think could stand a pretty good chance at besting him. See if you can guess who will make our cut and who's some of my favorites in the comments below. And now, let's get counting. Number 10. Kul Borsen. While the Serpent is not as powerful by himself like Darkseid, he doesn't usually come alone. During Fear itself, he recruited his own allies when he activated the hammers of the worthy, who found their own hosts, causing global chaos and destruction, and giving the villains and corrupted heroes who wielded those hammers immense power. Kul Borsen is Thor's uncle, who was imprisoned by his own brother Odin, and craves power that he claims was rightfully his before he was locked away. Fear gives him strength, and while Darkseid might not be afraid of him, there are plenty people on Earth who could power him up with their fear were he to return. Inevitably, Thor did defeat the Serpent, but it cost him his life at the time, and all the heroes of Earth were still kinda needed to come together in the fight against all the fear that Kul Borsen's return had unleashed on the world. Number 9. Vulcan. Vulcan has a great darkness that seems to be permanently lurking within him, which generally leads to him going berserk when it comes to how he approaches attacking, or more specifically, decimating, usually, his enemies. Vulcan is known as Gabriel Summers, the youngest Summers brother of the three. In the past, he has also been known as the Emperor of the warrior race known as the Shi'ar, and is an Omega level mutant. When it comes to energy manipulation and generation, he's probably the most powerful of the three brothers, just based on his sheer power levels alone. Vulcan even went toe-to-toe with one of the most powerful characters in Marvel, Adam Warlock, who at the time had joined up with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and yeah, Vulcan kicked his butt pretty effortlessly, looking super evil all the while, by the way. And friends, before we move on to this next spot, just a quick reminder, if you love lists like this and you want to see us pit, I don't know, maybe even more Marvel villains against Darkseid, although yeah, Darkseid is pretty powerful. Please be sure to let us know by giving this video a thumbs up and commenting below. Number 8. Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom definitely has the prowess to defeat Darkseid. While he might not be powerful enough initially to defeat Darkseid, Doom is well known for his determination and for going to great lengths to achieve things that most would tell him were basically not possible. He's kind of like the person that also comes in the Marvel Universe to solve problems that seem otherwise unsolvable, even when we have like all of the geniuses on it. He has masterful plans, and I believe that if Doom had to go up against Darkseid, he would find the power that he needed to defeat Darkseid. We've seen him take power from plenty of insanely powerful people in comics and video games before, like Kilgrave, Odin, the Beyonders, Scarlet Witch, and Molecule Man. I'm just saying, people are definitely going to be like, yeah, but Dr. Doom isn't already at that power level, and I'm going to be like, yeah, well, Dr. Doom's great, so he wins, that's it. It's all coming up Doom, baby. Number 7. Enchantress. Enchantress is vastly powerful when it comes to her magics. She's one of the most powerful magic users in all of Asgard and within the Marvel multiverse. And even though she's a magic user, which are typically known for being pretty squishy in general, she is surprisingly strong because she's also Asgardian. Enchantress has been shown to seduce a number of men with her charms and beauty, except for those with the strongest will. She is trained with various Asgardian magicians and even was Carnilla's student at one point. She can conjure up magic strong enough to destroy a god, though weirdly not strong enough to destroy Vision. Android loophole, I guess. She's easily defeated other immensely powerful magic users, and I'm sure that if she and Darkseid faced off, she'd prove that Enchantress should never be underestimated in battle. Number 6. Genesis/Annihilation. Genesis is the wife of Apocalypse, and as such will be his stand-in for this list. While there are some who compare the all-powerful might of Darkseid and Apocalypse to one another, also I mean they look pretty similar just in terms of character design, there is a character even even more powerful than Apocalypse, who I believe, based on the comparison of DC and Marvel's characters, could pose an even greater threat to the new god. That, of course, is Genesis. We met Genesis and came to know her as a foe over the course of the Ten of Swords event during the Otherworld tournament. She was one of the chosen champions of Arakko who fought in that tournament. Genesis received a power-up as the avatar for the Elder God of Amenth, known at the time as Annihilation. But even without her mask and without that title, Genesis was still shown to be an Omega-level mutant more powerful than her husband. So if we're comparing Darkseid to Apocalypse, I think Genesis is… I'm just saying. I think she might be more powerful. Number 5. Gore. It's all in the name for Gore. Darkseid is known as a new god, and Gore is the god butcher, so I think you can imagine how this might go down. Gore fights wielding the all-black Necrosword, a symbiote and weapon created by Null. Gore can use this weapon to devour his enemies from the inside out, basically. It's pretty gross. This kind of inside out attack with the all black has been shown before to be powerful enough for him to defeat even an immortal Asgardian hero like Thor, and fairly easily too. What's more, the all black that Gore wields is also powerful enough to slice through the sun and the moon as well. Now that is one sharp and deadly blade. When armed with the all black, Gore also becomes virtually immortal, as though he weren't resilient and strong enough on his own. Even if you kill him through the all black, he can basically return, making him indestructible and pretty much undefeatable. How can you defeat someone if you can't actually get rid of them, you know what I mean? I don't know. Number 4. Galactus. I mean, let's just talk about the sheer size of Galactus to begin with, and already we're making a pretty good case for him taking the fight, in my opinion. Galactus is the devourer of worlds, and Darkseid could be the inhibitor of a world that Galactus would end up destroying. Even when Galactus is hungry, his strength is pretty great. He has been shown as being able to engage in a fight with the Phoenix even while in such a state, which, I mean, I wouldn't expect him to win because Phoenix, but I also think that is immensely impressive, given how powerful the Phoenix and Phoenix Force is in general. Number 3. Null. Null is shown as being one of the biggest bads currently in the Marvel Universe with the King in Black event, and he has proven time and time again just how hard it is to stop him. He's relentless, doesn't give up, doesn't back down, and is very hard to actually kill or injure. Like Darkseid, he also likes to raise worlds, but he has symbiotic dragons and is known for being one of the galaxy's oldest evils. Null is basically darkness incarnate, so while I believe that watching a fight between these two would be very exciting and interesting to read, in the end I would personally be betting on Null to come out victorious. Number 2. Dark Phoenix. Obviously, Dark Phoenix is one of the most powerful villains we've ever seen in the Marvel Universe, and as such is definitely someone who could mess up Darkseid. Dark Phoenix has destroyed entire worlds and could reshape all of reality if they wanted to, especially when we're talking about the powerful marriage of the Phoenix Force and its often most desired perfect host, Jean Grey. When Jean goes dark, you definitely want to watch out. And even Darkseid should be shaken in his boots if that version of Phoenix and Jean comes a-knockin'. I mean, we should all be shaking in our boots, really. Number 1. The Beyonder. Initially, the Beyonder wasn't even from the Marvel multiverse that we have come to know, but another multiverse completely separate. In that multiverse, the Beyonder was everything, and everything was him, making him pretty much the god of that multiverse. A hole into our multiverse was created when Owen Reese experienced the accident that turned him into Molecule Man, and it was through this hole the Beyonder became aware of this Marvel multiverse, and basically decided ultimately to come on over and to mess with it. At least that was the initial backstory. Later on his story would be altered somewhat, and we learned that there was actually an entire race of Beyonders, but either way the Beyonder remains one of the most powerful villains around at Marvel, especially in those older days, considering that he is beyond multiversal and can with ease, and even sometimes without even intention, destroy multiple realities and reshape multiverses. Who do you think would be able to take on Darkseid from the Marvel Universe? Which Marvel villain do you think is the most powerful? And which Marvel villain has the most potential to cause an unparalleled amount of mayhem in the DC Universe if they went over there? Let us know in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, Top 10 DC Comics Superheroes Who Got Pregnant. Terminator 156 writes, Top 10 DC couples that will never work out. Oh my goodness, that sounds like such a sad list, but I'm into it. I feel like that would be a tragic one. Nathaniel Aiken comments, Amanda McKnight, lovely as ever. Oh, thank you so much. Such a nice comment. I got nothing else to say, just thanks. Anthony Alvarez responds, wow, that is some crazy pregnancy, but I guess in a superhero's life, it can't be normal. Amanda, looking gorgeous as always, looking forward to your next awesome video. Thank you so much, and yeah, pregnancy is definitely weird in the superhero world, as if it weren't like weird enough already. I feel like pregnancy already is a pretty strange process. And that's all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts and feels shouted out in a future list. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight, reminding you, as always, to stay nerdy, YouTube.